the structure of kinesin. So kinesin is now it's a motor protein which is associated with the microtubules. So kinesin has it is a complex structure. It has two heavy chains, and the molecular weight of the heavy chain is roughly about 124 kilodalton is the molecular weight. That has two light chains. The molecular weight is about 64 kilodalton is the molecular weight. Now how the arrangement occurs? Now in the heavy chains it has got a globular head. So there are two globular heads, and then it will spindle around, and then there is another globular head. Another globular head. So this is more or less the structure of a kinesin molecule. It is highly advised that you look into a textbook like Bruce Alberts etc. to see the actual structure of a kinesin molecule. What is very evident is it has a head region, it has a neck region, it has a hinge region, it will have a coil 1, then there is a kink region, another coil second, then there is a highly coiled coil structure, and finally the region which is a globular portion which is meant for, that is called the tail. So therefore this is the tail region, this is the head region. In the head region is the motor. In the tail region will bind to cargo. Tail region is the C terminus and the head region is the N terminus. Now, in the motor portion also has ATP hydrolyzing capacity. It can hydrolyze ATP. It can generate force. Okay, it can generate force, it can ATP hydrolyze. These are the functions of the motor region. Whereas the tail region you will find it can bind to a cargo molecule. This is the basic structure of a kinesin molecule. How exactly are the kinesin molecules moving on the microtubules? There are two mechanisms. In the first mechanism for the movement of kinesin is by hand over hand. This is one of the mechanisms. In the second mechanism that is proposed, the second mechanism is called the inchworm mechanism. So these are the two mechanisms. In the hand over hand mechanism, what happens is if these are the two motors, now the hand over mechanism is this will walk, this will be fixed. Okay, this is fixed. When this is fixed on the microtubule and this is moving ahead, and now this will be fixed and this motor is moving ahead. This is fixed and this is moving ahead. So this is how the hand over hand mechanism operates. Now it can be diagrammatically represented in the following manner. Assume these are the two motor heads. So this is head number 1, this is head number 2. Now let's put this is head number 1 and this is head number 2. Now in both the places there is an ADP attached, both the places. What will happen in reaction number 1 is one ADP is replaced by an ATP molecule. So one of the ADP is displaced. So you will have now, this is an ADP and this is an ATP molecule. It is replaced. So this is our position number 2, this is our position number 1. Now in the next step what happens is hydrolysis of the ATP occurs. So ATP hydrolyzes to ADP and PI. PI is liberated. Now this red ATP becomes ADP molecule. So in the process energy is created and it is moving. With that energy it is moving, it is taking one step. So therefore this becomes 2 and this is 1, this is ADP and this is also ADP, and the next step is another ATP binds and this process continues. This is called the hand over hand process. Let us look at the distance which is covered in every hand over hand movement. Roughly about 80 Armstrong distance is covered in one walk. So therefore you need to know that if you look at the structure of microtubules, so this is alpha, beta. This distance is about 80 Armstrong, which means in every step that kinesin is taking, it is 80 nanometer. One such unit is covered. That is what has to be understood. What is the energy requirement? For every walk, it will need 1 ATP molecules. If you look at the overall ATP hydrolysis, you will see that about 80 ATP molecules are hydrolyzed per second, which means this 80 into 80 Armstrong, that will give you 6400. That Armstrong is the distance that is covered by a kinesin molecule per minute. So this is how the hand over hand walking happens in the case of a kinesin molecule. Let us look at what is the meaning of inchworm walking. So in the inchworm walking is very simple. What it does is the whole unit, okay, the whole, both the subunits, they will walk, they will jump and walk. Okay, they will move like a jerk, they will move. And that distance in the inchworm walking, what it covers is about 36 Armstrong is the distance it will cover. Dynein is another important motor protein which use microtubules for movement of cargo. So if you look at the structure of dynein, it is a highly complex structure in comparison to kinesin structure. The molecular weight is about 500 kilodalton. This also has got 2 heavy chains and several intermediary as well as several low molecular weight chains present in the structure of dynein. So in the heavy chains forms a kind of a globular head which will act as the motor. And this globular head will have a kind of a stalk, and this is, okay, then there are many intermediary and low molecular weight proteins present in this structure, and this portion forms in the tail. So as we have seen, in the tail forms in the cargo binding, and in the motor forms in the force generation unit. And this motor is able to bind to microtubules and able to walk. What is important in the case of dynein is this dynein, if this is a microtubule, this is the plus end and this is the minus end. Dynein will move towards the minus end, which means it is transporting cargo from the periphery of the cell to the nucleus portion. That is what we need to understand about the movement of dynein molecule. Normally, dynein is not directly binding to the cargo. So here there is an intermediate protein which is called dynectin, that becomes the intermediary molecule or protein which helps in binding to the cargo. So this is a cargo, it is binding, then this portion will move on the microtubules, and that is how the movement of cargo occurs. So you can look at a textbook in order to see the real picture, and you get an idea about how this movement occurs. Now, if you look at the real movement which is happening in a cell, there are theories proposed that to every cargo molecule, if this is a cargo molecule, to every cargo molecule there will be plenty of kinesin molecule that is bound. Okay, this is it is with the tail it is binding, and there will be plenty of dynein molecule also will be bound. They are also bound, and this is our microtubule. They are bound. Now what happens if this is a plus end and this is a minus end? This kinesin molecule will push or will move in the forward direction, whereas if the dynein molecule will come towards the negative end. So there is a constant struggle that is happening. Now in this struggle, remember there will be such many molecules bound to the cargo. This is the cargo. If we have to represent this data by using a graph, on the x-axis we have the time, and on the y-axis we have the position of the microtubules. You will see that if the kinesin molecules will take it to the plus strand, it's moving forward. Then maybe the dynein will stall it. Then again the kinesin can act, dynein can stall it. Again kinesin can act, okay? And depending on the force. There is a possibility that if the force is equal, if the force exerted by kinesin and dynein is equal, so this can be an equilibrium region where the force is equal. So therefore this is kinesin and this is by dyneins, okay, and this is by kinesin, this is by dynein, etc. So this constant push and pull will ensure that if the molecule or the protein or if the vesicles are delivered in the right place in a cell. See the kind of dynamism that is happening in a cell to ensure that they are delivered properly, accurately and precisely.